All right, we about to get it popping in five, four, three, two.
And we back, and we back,
Yep,
and
and
we
we
back.
back. Yeah, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we yeah, and we back. Think It Out Loud podcast, TOLPcast.com. You already know what it is. It's your boy Jay
We
Lip.
back,
You know who I am, and you know where we be.
and we back,
And we back again with the homie KaeGee. KaeGee,
Back at it again, man. What's up?
what's good, bro?
Everything is everything, man.
You feeling great?
Feeling great. Feeling good. Feeling great. Feeling great. Feeling good. How are you?
I am.
That's a callback to the old, what was it, Sleepy Brown Dungeons Family?
Dungeon Family, it might have
Yeah,
been Sleepy
what they
Brown.
did.
Feeling good,
What
feeling
Patty
great.
LaBelle?
Outcast.
Yeah,
All that. The whole. This is a whole nother topic we got to go
the whole
into.
nine, man. The whole
Yeah.
nine.
But for those that know, what's the phrase? What's known and understood doesn't have to be said. So
Be
we don't even
explained.
gotta. It ain't gotta be explained. So
Be
you either
explained.
get the reference or you don't.
Right.
Meanwhile, y'all may notice I got a different type of uniform on tonight. Basically, I'm representing the Detroit versus everybody cap with the white tee, bringing it back a little old school. You know what I'm saying? Cause you gotta switch it up sometimes. And
Every now
this
and
is
again.
this is a switch up for us. This is episode 70. Episode 70, my nigga. Like we've been doing this shit for
About to
70
be triple
episodes.
digits in a minute.
It's amazing to me too
Triple
because
digits in a minute. That's gonna be a
boy,
milestone.
that 100th episode, boy, I'm gonna hear them applauses. I'm
Gonna
gonna
be a
lose my
milestone.
mind, man. So shout out to us in 70 episodes.
Shout
Now,
out to you, Thinking Out Loud podcast, for
I
making this happen.
appreciate it. Yes, man. Yes. Gotta drop a bomb for that. Now, earlier this week, for anybody that doesn't know, we were talking about two things in particular.
Yep.
We were talking about the oral compass with the DJ Khaled situation, and that was a good conversation. We addressed some things, and we did what we did, but we was on a short time, so you know
Super short.
we smashed and dashed on that one. And then,
Yeah.
of course, we got to extend the conversation that you were starting to cook up last episode, which was this whole phenomenon behind the Donald Glover "This Is
Yeah.
America" video, and
Yeah.
of course, it's met with mixed reception. You
A lot
got
of animosity.
right.
Let's just call it what it is. A lot of animosity.
Say it again.
It's a lot of animosity. It's a lot of animosity
Uh,
from a specific group. And if you've been staying up on topic, you know what the group is saying. There's a lot of people
well,
out
let
there
them know
that
what are they saying. What are they
I
saying?
mean
Because I can
they're
bring up
basically
what they
just
saying.
they're questioning Donald Glover. For people who don't know who Donald Glover is, he was on a show called what was the name of the show he was on? Not The Office.
Parks and Rec, the
Yeah, Parks and
Community, or
Rec.
something. One of them.
The Community. That's what I was thinking of. Is the musical artist Childish Gambino, really talented guy, right?
Correct.
And in a lot of his comedy, whether it be stand up or his music, he likes to touch on a great many of like hot buttons, right? Like hot
Absolutely.
topics that may be going on, and some of which have been longer than others.
Right.
In his most recent adaptation of This Is America, he was talking about basically the black man's role in America, right? And how we're personified in all things media, right? Now, if you've seen the video, it's one of those things where like you see it at first, and if you're really not picking up what's being said or what your eyes are taking in, you may have to go back and watch it a couple times. Like it's that good, right?
Right.
And a lot of people are saying, well, this dude Donald Glover, everybody was really ready to give this guy his praise. Like, oh man, that video was, so it made people think, and we need more of that. And there was a group of people
Agreed,
who said,
agreed.
yo, before we even give this dude his praise, look, he's with a woman that's not a sister. He's with a woman who's not black.
Ooh.
And all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. And I kind of like what he's done. He's kind of been silent on the matter because at the end of the day, really, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a group of people out
It doesn't matter
there.
to you.
It doesn't matter to him. It doesn't matter to people like me. It doesn't matter to a lot of people who have a lot of things going on up here who don't necessarily see the point and value of being bothered with such trivial bullshit. And, because at the end of the day, like, you're going to be with who you want to be with. right? I saw an interview
Hold on one
with.
second. My fault. I had the mic on mute. Say it one more time. It doesn't matter to people who. What happened when you tapped your head? Reminding people of the mental.
I
Say
was
it
just
one more
saying, I was
time.
like, if you've got a lot of stuff going on upstairs, it's not gonna matter. You're really not gonna spend a whole lot of time being bothered with such trivial bullshit, right? I was watching, a couple interviews about, a girls' panel got together. These, they happened to be sisters. They were all sitting around. They were basically saying that, Donald Glover, if you want to talk about things that are going on in the black community, you don't necessarily have a leg to stand on
Yikes.
because, you're with the white woman, right?
Mm.
Or, I don't even know if she's white. She might be Asian. I saw a picture of his kids and they do look like they might be Asian.
But
So
she's
I don't know.
not.
I got,
But she's not black,
she's not black,
and that's
you
what
know.
matters, right?
I mean, it does to me. It doesn't matter, but to some people, it matters a great deal. And they were basically saying that he doesn't have a platform or a leg to stand on because if he was really down for the cause, then he would be with a sister, right?
That's
And it
what they
kind of
say.
took me
Yeah.
back. It kind of took me back to an interview I saw with Umar Johnson. He was basically saying like he himself could not have respect for any man who dates outside of his race
Oh my
because
God. Who
because
said that? Mark Johnson?
no, Umar Johnson. This he's supposed to be a
Oh,
psychologist,
Dr.
one
Umar
of
Johnson. I'm
those,
sorry.
I'm in Hotep kind of cats or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Supposed to be woke. I mean, he says some things that make a lot of sense, and it's like
No, but go
very
on.
thought provoking.
I just
But
want to
that
remember the
that
name.
spot right there, that was like some bullshit,
I
right?
I got a
And
guy. Just I don't mean to interrupt, but I got a guy. Well, I did interrupt you, and I apologize. I
yep.
got a guy. I got a homie who said the exact same thing to me in a conversation recently about the lack of respect for a black man who basically dates or has a romantic interest in or marries or have children with a woman outside of their race. So it was just
Yeah.
the way that you quoted it is exactly what my man said. Shout out to Woods. Go ahead.
Because I mean, that's just how he put it. And when someone, I think, excuse me, DJ Clue asked him, he was like, well, why is that? And he was like, would you allow your son to basically date outside of his race? And, not DJ Clue, but DJ Envy was basically like, my son's 13. Like, I'm not about to tell him who he should or who he should not be involved with, like, as long as she's a good person. I think that right there is what this whole thing should be about. As long as a person is of good character and their content is like, the content of their character is pure and, they move around with the best intentions, like that should be the only basis, right? And
Right.
when Envy said that, Umar Johnson kind of went back. He said, but can that woman who is not black understand the struggle that your son goes through? And Envy was like, no. And Umar Johnson was like, exactly. But here's the thing, though.
Mm.
I don't even know if Envy's black.
Mm.
I know he's Puerto Rican, which means his son is half Puerto Rican. His wife, Gia, she may be black. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that I don't even bother with because
Hold
it's
on.
not worth it.
Let me address the congregation right now. I want to give a quick shout out to all those people that tuned in, either for a moment, for a minute, or a lifetime. I got Lynn, I got Thomas, I got Antonio Osborne, the homie, Bomb Squad baby. I got C's, I got Charles, I got my bro Rob D, I got my bro AP, and I got the homie Bomb Squad Ron Baptiste the
Paps is in the
third.
house. What up, Paps?
What up, Bat? So, with all that being said, I got some comments saying, say his name. The homie that I was speaking on, I said his name. I ain't
Hmm?
gonna put him out there. We call him Woods. Woods
They gonna
said
blast him.
we ain't gonna do all that. That's not what we here for because he not here to defend himself. I'm just
Right.
here to help share some of the sentiments from the opposition so that we have a good and cohesive dialogue. This ain't gonna be, a circle jerk session where we just sit here and agree with each other. But
Right.
what this
Right.
will be is a conversation where we address some of the feelings that you interpreted as a
Hmm.
black man who happens to have a relationship with a woman not of
Yeah.
color.
Not
Because I
of.
feel like
Yeah, she's
y'all
not
getting
black.
trashed right now. Like niggas right now, literally, that aren't with the woman of their race, specifically black men, are getting trashed. You are getting trashed.
I
You
mean,
are
here's my
you
deal.
you
Ain't
are
nobody
not.
saying it to my face,
I'm
right?
saying it. I'm representing the congregation against you, even though I love you, my dog.
Nah,
But
but what I'm saying is anybody who's got like a problem with it, like they don't pay my bills, they're not putting food in my refrigerator,
mm,
they don't make my
Woods,
company run, they don't
Woods.
like. I mean, yeah, the opinion's like an Escalade, man. Everybody's got one. So I'm not really concerned with it,
Mm,
right? It would make more sense if someone came with the fact that, oh, because you're black, in order to help the black community, if the point that followed that statement was much more solidified and rooted in fact versus like trivial bullshit. Like if they said, well, in order to help the black economic, structure, more people, again, need to go back and understand what makes the black economic situation in the state of disarray that it's in. Like I said, it's not interracial marriage,
Oh, great
right?
point. So what I've heard
It's
is a
not
counter
interracial
argument.
marriage.
What I've heard, and I will give you the horns for that, and the congratulations. What I have heard, and I'm gonna be honest with you, from the same folks that's the opposition. Okay, calm down, y'all. What I've heard from the opposition is basically it's not the issue with the interracial relationship. That's kind of the overarching topic, but it's more so always coming back to this historical, ambiguous white devil, as it's been called. I'm not, I speak for myself. I'm just reiterating what others have said. They equate all of what's wrong with the situation of a black man being with a non-woman of color as being an instrument by the quote unquote ambiguous white devil that has historically plagued us throughout the entirety of our existence as a people from the point that we were taken from the motherland Africa. So, my issue, and I'm gonna let you continue to dive into
Yeah.
what your perspective is, but I just want to make it known, me personally, I do not believe that we can equate what has been the infrastructure or the systemic, I'll say the systemic virus that has infected the American overarching mixing bowl or melting pot or whatever you want to call it. I can't rely every time on the fact that you may love a woman not of color, because it's not just white. I can't say you love a white woman. It's always
Hmm.
just black and white. Like, it's so many more races,
I
but
mean, it could
not
be Asian, it could be Mexican, it could be Latin, it
exactly.
could be,
But as
Middle
long
Eastern, it could be Lithuanian, whatever
and as long as it's not black and you a black
nationality.
man, there's a shame. It's like shame on you, nigga. Like shame on you. And they say that in the same breath. Call you a nigga, but still shame on you.
But it's no shame. I mean, here's my thing, right? What I eat is not gonna make anybody shit. What
But it
someone else eats is
does.
not gonna make, but it doesn't.
It makes them orally vomit.
I
Would
mean,
you
that's their problem. That's not mine.
right? But they mad at you because they feel like you tearing the culture apart. They feel like people
Hold
like
up,
you
stop. How am I tearing the culture? How are people who are in interracial relationships tearing the culture apart, right?
because you're not a part of the solution of us unifying as a community and us
Hold
building
on, man.
together.
That literally has nothing to do with
Hey,
who you go home to at night.
I'm
You know what
telling
is
you
a
what they
bigger
say.
problem? Do you know what is a bigger proponent of not bringing cohesion and inclusion to the collective?
What?
Informational divide. And we talked
Explain.
about this briefly on the last show.
Oh,
The
just
thing,
and
one
for,
of the
and
one of
just
the
for the
things that
audience, real quick, Rob D, the homie ass, he said, "Kobe not with no sister." Hell no, you're not with no sister. That's why
nah,
we having
man.
the conversation.
I'm not saying
He
nah,
went
man.
who he
Like no, like I'm not
no.
attracted.
I
I'm
got
just
you.
saying
That
in
I'm gonna
this
take that as a
relationship.
sound clip too. Like, nah, man, I ain't with no sister.
All right, don't you
No,
do it. See,
but
you doing the thing the media do. They
but
take shit out of context.
right. All I'm saying to my homie Rob D is that's why his perspective is so relevant to everybody listening. His perspective is relevant because this is a man, an upstanding man I respect, a brethren, and I don't take anything from him or his opinion
Yeah.
because he's with who he's with. It don't matter. We don't even, for the listening audience, they don't really even know the ethnicity or race of the person that you love, but that person that you love isn't black, and that's okay. That's what
Right.
I'm trying to say. So,
So going back to my original point, the thing that really hinders the collective, right? When you start talking about black people, the thing that prevents us from getting to where we ultimately need to be is one of a few things. The first of which is we have informational divide, right? And I talked about this briefly on the last video. If you get with some of your friends, right? And a lot of you have this. You have these ambivalent relationships. And what that means is someone calls you up like, hey, you want to go out? You want to do this? You want to do that? You find yourself thinking like, damn, do I really want to go out with this person? Do I really want to hang with these folks? Is it going to be fun? Like, instead of just being like, yep, those are my people. Like, yeah, let's go. The relationships where it's like, yep, those are my people. Yeah, let's go. Are the relationships where you don't have any informational divide. What I mean by that is you both, or you three, or you six, or 18, or however many ever of you it is, you all are living your lives and you all are progressing at a certain manner as you should be, right? And each time one of you reaches a new milestone, you take the information that was learned from that if in fact it wasn't passed down for you. And even if it was, you take that information and you pass it on to your team, right? The thing that hinders us most is we are in secret competition with the people who we hang out with the most. And what I mean by that is your dog gets a car. Maybe your car is a little bit older. So now you're like, damn, okay, I got to do what I got to do to get this car. And I got to make sure it's this kind of car. So that car is better. Or, okay, he just got a house, or I need to move in this neighborhood. So my house is bigger. My house is better. You have competition within your team versus having competitive rivalry. Now, those of you that have played sports, whether it be football, track, baseball, hockey, whatever the case may be, competitive rivalry says it basically pushes you to become better. It pushes your teammates to become better. You're pushing them directly, right? Instead of competing with them secretly. Okay. So if I have information, let's say I buy a house, right? And my dog's getting ready to buy a house.
All right.
And I know in that process, there are landmines, there are pitfalls that capture people. And I don't disclose that information to him. I'm setting him up for failure, right? If I know something, or if you know something, and the information that you have and you share it with me, it makes me spend less time on whatever struggle it is that I'm facing. And it allows me to spend more time getting to where I'm ultimately supposed to be. As a collective unit, as a collective whole, that is what we do not have. Or if we do have it, we don't have it by and large because we secretly want to see people fail. I know people who are barbers on my Facebook friends list, and they're raising their prices, right? Now, as a businessman, I get it. Prices in my business just went up. You know why? Because one day I want to retire. I don't want to do this for the next 60 years, right? So I got to keep contributing to my nest egg. And listen, the last time I sat down in somebody's chair, I think a haircut was like 10, 12 bucks. It's not uncommon now to hear barbers saying, oh, well, to get a haircut, it's 25. Or now some are charging by the hour, right? So what do you have?
Wait,
you have brothers who are in it.
Is barbers charging by the hour?
It's barbers charging by the hour. And when you look at it, I get it
that.
from both sides. You look at it from the business standpoint, I get it. So a dude been growing this hair out for 6 years. It's going to take you longer to cut that hair than it would be a dude that comes in every 2 weeks. Make your money. I get it, right? So you have some people who are the same skin color as we are. They will see this cat and they will be like, hey, man, what do you charge for this? And he'll be honest, like, listen, man, for, a taper, whatever, fro shape lineup, it's going to be, $30 without the tip. They looking at that dude like, man, forget that. You're not finna get rich off me. Versus them people going to Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's. Shout out to Lady Jane's.
Shout out to Lady Jane's. Listen, there is no haggling about the price. There is, like, the price is the price. They come in, they get the service, they pay for it, right? And then when someone else is getting ready to own another Lady Jane's, that information of how to do it, how to avoid certain pitfalls is out there. They don't have the same informational divide problems that people in our generation have. Why? Because we want to be like the alpha at the top of the hill. And we fail to realize is the more of us that there are at the top of that hill, the more we can go back and get. It makes us stronger as a whole. Maybe I own the landscaping company. Maybe this cat over here owns the barbershop, right? Maybe this dude over here, this woman over here owns the bank. Maybe this family over here owns the hospital. Right? It's a collective unit. It's a collective unit.
Yep.
We don't really have that. We have pockets where that exists. The Black Wall Street in Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street in Durham, they were excellent at highlighting this. And it just happened to be that, yes, the majority of those marriages were of, same color marriages. Why? Because in that point in time, it really wasn't legal, right? And I may need to go back and check my facts on this, but if memory serves me right, it was not legal to actually marry outside of your race.
Yeah,
okay?
there was a point in time, yeah. There was a movie about it, actually, that came out last year.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, they had to do what they had to do. Now, you fast forward to present day, the only thing that changes is you can basically go out with whoever you want. The only thing that's really hindering you back is you suffer from informational divide, or you have relationships with people where you are secretly competing with them and there is no competitive rivalry. It's just straight up competition. That's going to do it every single time. Every single time. It has nothing to do with the fact that, oh, this person's with someone who's not black, or this person is with, like, that's bull. And if you look at it from the women's standpoint, and to the fellas that are out there watching, like, I've seen women who are just blasting this guy.
Dragging
him.
Dragging
I'm just dragging him behind the Bronco, right? I'm a huge proponent for,
Damn.
one, being objective, and two, being accountable for your own actions. Not in one of these posts have I ever seen, and I'm not shaming them. I'm just saying, yo, let's call a spade a spade. Right?
You speaking truth, man. Go.
And not one of these posts have I ever seen a woman say, yo, ladies, we might have fudged this up. because a lot of us know
And
that
let me
brother in
translate
high
too
school.
for the people in as D.L. Hughley says in the GED section. You might have fucked this up. Go ahead, Cope.
Word. So none of these women are saying like, "Yo, this one may be on us," because we all know a cat in high school who was straight laced, did everything by the book, and he got hit with that lame tag. I remember a time. This was after I might have been like a sophomore in college, and I'm sure it's existed all throughout history. If you wasn't a dude selling drugs, you were a lame. If you wasn't a dude riding around on 20s, you were a lame. If you wasn't the dude who wasn't trapping, or if you had a 9 to 5, you were a lame. Or you going to school to progress your education, you're a lame, right? Well, which one of those categories do you think Donald Glover falls in? Dude can rap,
Uh, all inclusive lame.
he can write, he's talented. In high school, it probably wasn't a whole lot of girls trying to give this guy play.
And that's an interesting point. I wanna dive into that a little bit. So ever since I've seen that post about the fact that Donald Glover has a certain air about himself that makes him not the typical prototype for a black woman, the stereotypical black woman
Hmm.
at least. He's not a
Hmm.
bad boy. He ain't no thug. He ain't about that life. He
He
ain't
ain't got a
real.
record.
He ain't got a record. He ain't real. Blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. Everybody got a reason to say, okay, these are the reasons why he wasn't approached by, or rather felt comfortable approaching black women, because maybe he got rejected. Maybe they wasn't giving him them vibes. But
Hmm.
that's not to say that women of other cultures automatically are attracted to that. All it is
Oh,
to
oh no.
me is
Yeah.
just that maybe, and this is all speculation because we weren't there when the nigga chose who he wanted to
Yeah.
be with.
We don't know.
We
We
don't
don't know.
know. But all the speculation is people making excuses like, he with her because he couldn't stand to have the responsibility of a black strong woman who blah 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 blah. And
Listen, listen. I've been in relationships with black women, white women. That's pretty much, you got your variations
that's
in there.
enough. That's a good spread.
Yeah,
That's
got your
pretty
variations
polar
in there. Let me
opposites.
tell you, it's not like
Don't
they're
get
gonna come for me,
emotional.
but
Don't
no,
get
they're gonna
emotional.
come for me, but I don't
Say,
care.
cause this is
This
thinking
this this
fucking
whole
out loud. Go.
this strong black woman title, like I get it, I thoroughly understand it, right? But I think when a
I
lot of
hear.
people
I
hear
hear a
that,
butt coming up. I hear a
they think
butt.
about like the sass, the pizzazz, the talking with the neck, and always making their fingers snap. Thanks, Hov. But you, anybody ever been in a relationship with a Spanish woman?
Not I.
But those of us that have, or people, or men that have, or women that have, they can tell you, you still get that same swagger. I've seen white girls with that same swagger.
Shit. Let's
I've
call a
seen,
spade a spade. It's not necessarily swagger. It's attitude.
well, I
It's
mean,
your
well,
it's
when I
it's your
say swagger, that's what I'm
personality.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
when I say
it's
swagger, that's what I'm
it's
talking
your
about.
energy. To me, like it's your
Right?
energy,
So
your aura.
that's not something that specifically belongs to black women. So when I hear people say, "Oh, well, he couldn't handle, a strong black woman, and that's
Oh,
why
it's a
he's with the
defense
white girl," I'm
mechanism.
like,
It's a
it's
defense
yeah, I'm
mechanism.
like that's bull, man. That's bull. Because
Yeah.
there's women out there that are passive. There's women out there that are submissive. They come in all races, all colors. There's men that are out there are passive. That are submissive. They come in all races, all colors. Right? It's just who are you compatible with? And
Exactly,
maybe
dog.
at the time, okay, so let's go back to this. I think my own personal opinion, when he was really honing in on his craft, first of all, for them to say, well, I was talking to some young lady and she was like, well, he went to NYU, so there's more basically white girls out there than there are black girls. I'm like, brothers from Stone Mountain, Georgia. There are tons of black women in that proxy, right? So let's not base it off a location. Okay.
All right.
Going back to the point I made earlier, listen, at a younger age, what I've seen in my own life, my own experiences using the eye test, at a certain age, some black girls just have a different set of values than some white girls,
And
right?
some black girls or women, as I'll say at this point in our life, some black women have a different perspective than other black women. Like
Of
there's
course.
so it's so to me it's completely subjective. We're speaking in generalizations because that's the only way we can speak about this topic, because
Right.
it's a group of individuals feeling some way about another group of individuals that look just like them, but they're upset
Yeah.
because of the choices that they make in their personal life.
Right.
And
You done made a couple bad decisions, and now you know
it's not even
dirty
bad.
a couple
I'm
kids, and
talking about the people that are saying, I'm Pan African, I'm pro black, I believe in the uplifting of the black community, and
you can be all of that and still go home to someone who. But you know
no,
the
finish that
thing,
statement. Finish that statement,
and
bro.
you can still go home to whoever you want that may not have the same skin tone as you. The thing
Exactly.
that I find extremely perplexing, right, is Issa Rae literally like a couple days ago told all black women that they should date Asians
No, 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 no,
because
no. Let me stop you. Let me
hey,
pause you.
dude,
It wasn't a couple days ago. It was a couple years ago, and they
whatever,
they brought it back. Well, I mean, shit.
still relevant,
She still said
still
it.
relevant.
I just want
She
to be
still said
clear
it.
for the people listening because we got a lot of people that are like, nah, he ain't. She ain't say that a couple. Blah blah blah. Okay, thank you
Okay,
for listening.
yeah,
The accuracy police. She said it a couple years ago in a book
it's
that I
fine.
believe came out, but
Did she
still
ever
addressed
retract
what
it?
she. No, she didn't. She stood by it.
She never retracted.
So go ahead and address what she said. Let the people know what she said who don't know.
So it's still legitimate, right?
Yep.
So she was
So
basically
what did she
saying,
say?
and so she basically said, well, the more educated a black woman gets, the more less her basically available, dating prospects, like dating prospects go down,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So therefore, you should date an Asian man because they're smart, they value education, and both of us are at the bottom of basically the dating totem pole anyway. So
Yeah.
therefore, we should just link up. The
Yeah.
thing that I say, listen,
It's stupid.
it's stupid.
It's stupid. It's fucking
But
stupid.
nobody.
We're
This
both at the
takes me to
bottom of the barrel, so let's just link up because we both at the bottom.
right. So you mean to tell me it's brothers out there that don't value education? I'm a brother. My woman is highly educated. That's one of my favorite things about her. Because we can have a conversation, and guess what? We ain't talking about love and hip hop.
All right. So
We're
let me
talking
play.
about a lot of stuff that
Let
matters.
me play White.
Not saying that if you watch love and hip hop, you're not educated.
No, no,
Like
there ain't no disclaimers.
that was,
No, no,
this is
no, boo this
yeah.
man. No, ain't no disclaimers on Thinking Out Loud. So let me play White Devil's Advocate. So, since that's what they want to call them, and I don't agree with the term, I'm just saying it is what it is. People are coming at Donald Glover. They coming at the Kobe's, the KGs of the world. They
Ain't
feel
coming.
like you almost have a responsibility, like you're obligated due to your race and the conditions of your race to love, quote unquote, a woman of your race as if that is an extension of your loyalty to your race. And I feel like that's bullshit because when it comes to the philanthropic efforts that you may make, you may be donating, you may be giving back time,
Yeah.
services, or money to
Knowledge, man.
knowledge,
Knowledge.
like you mentioned. So
That's
you may be
man.
giving back in those ways, but it's all negated. I had a conversation with a young lady, and she said, "Oh yeah, you can do all that, but all you
Mhm.
are is a supporter. But you're not pro-black. You just support the pro-black movement." And I'm like,
Sit
my
down.
gal, madam,
Sit down.
madam, are you serious right now? Like
Sit
you
down.
you literally are going to negate. And I use an extreme example, and I'm an extremist. So I said, so if Donald Glover, or let's say if KaeGee,
Yeah.
doing his thing, donated $100 million to every HBCU in inner city, predominantly black school,
That's
but
gonna do
he married,
way more than me
but
just
but
going
but
home to someone who looks like me at night,
but
man.
he married a white woman, does that make him non-pro-black? And she said, yes, because he's not furthering the community by his actions of who he loves. And I said, well, goddamn. So you're telling me
She trolling.
if he
She's
fought? No, she
trolling.
said this in real life, bro. This is
She's
like a
trolling.
face to face, 2 feet away conversation, and she was
No,
dead
she trolling.
ass. And she even brought up the definition, talking about people don't really know what pro black means. They think they pro black, but they're just pro black supporters. And I'm like, what the hell is the difference? How can you say like I
I
say
can't stand you, fake woke. I'm in hotel, mother.
you so in the words of Charlemagne the God, you so woke you sleep.
You
You talking
slave.
about you wouldn't take the opportunity to understand or even to open your mind to the fact that people are people. And that's the part that I struggle with because I had a battle, I had a debate with some of my brethren yesterday about the fact that I believe in free love, which is one
Hmm.
of the parts of the title of the podcast. So it was basically black-ish versus free love. I believe in love who you love. It's not my business. But
Yeah, man.
what are your
See,
actions
I
showing
think they would
outside of your
have
relationship? Because your relationship is not dictating whether or not you're going out to a rally or a march. Your
right.
relationship is not dictating whether or not you participate in the crowdfunding to start up a new black, predominantly black school in an impoverished area. Like your
Mark
relationship is your
Johnson.
relationship. Like that's
Yeah.
you and yours. When you go to sleep at night, I ain't got shit to do with that. And nobody should. Just you and that person. So love who you love. And I use the analogy, bro. If I grew up, I'm married to a black woman, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up. If I grew up in Metro Detroit,
Hmm.
so if I had been born, raised, and grew up, developed my personality in Asia, more than likely I might have married an Asian woman. If I had the same experience in Germany, I might have married a German woman.
Listen, that's facts because I know a dude, this young gentleman. He's a crazy story. He's actually training to become a professional wrestler. We were talking. He's black, but he actually grew up in Asia or
Okay.
Asia. Um, yeah, I guess it is Asia. Yeah. So like, I want to. What country did he say? I can't remember. But long story short, it's in Asia, right? So I'm like, cool, man. So we get talking about significant others and who we're dating. Guess what ethnicity his woman is?
Some subsect of Asian.
Of Asian. So you're right. Half of it is where you grow up. The other half of it is like you just like what you like. My deal is, I think the people who have a problem with it would have a better argument if they were just talking about. And I'm not going to defend the people who say, well, my preference is white because all black women talk with their necks
Oh
too
yeah,
much. Like, no,
we get them the
you
fuck
don't
out
get
of
my
there.
support with that.
Yeah,
Like, you
we
don't get
get
my
them the
support
fuck
with
out of
that.
there. We
No,
get them a big old
no,
boo. No,
no.
we're not talking about the preference
You're not doing
because I
that.
want a submissive. It was some athlete that posted something
Nope.
recently on IG talking about women of color usually got an attitude. I love the fact that my girl, she's submissive, she listens, she don't talk back, blah blah blah. Like nigga, you want a
Nope.
child. Like
Yeah.
that's what you
You
want
want
to
a puppet.
raise.
That's what you
You want
want.
to
You want a
raise
puppet.
somebody.
Hmm.
But what we
No.
are going to stand tall for are the people who are unfortunately being grouped into this category of I don't love my race nor myself nor my heritage and identity because I happened literally without my unbeknownst to me I fell in love with a person who I was attracted to for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And
Like,
that's
goddamn. Damn if you're attracted to somebody who doesn't look like you, man.
and then they hit you with
Shit.
the argument like, well, every other race, they promote keeping themselves separate, and
And
we should have the
check this
separatist
out. No, they're
mentality
right.
like
And
them.
they do promote that. But you know what? They still curious. And
Yeah,
I know a
boy.
lot of them. I know a lot of them that tiptoe to the other side, and like that's literally what they want to be with. And a lot of them get
Yeah.
written off for their families for it. But that's a generational thing. In a couple generations out, if 50 years, that won't even be the thing.
You know what? And that's what I said too. I said not 50, but maybe like in about couple of hundred years, won't nobody really be able to look at anybody and tell what race or ethnicity they are because we're all
Right.
mixing. Like at this point,
Right.
everybody's mixing. So what's the point of being so separatist
Yeah.
when it comes to racial relations? Like again, free love. Love who you love. Like if
Mhm.
that's fall in love, just be free because what I feel like you're doing and what I've been told is if you're quote unquote pro black, you're supposed to Heisman that hoe. Not disrespect to any woman not of color, but you should stiff arm basically is the more appropriate term. You should stiff arm your emotions about someone who's not of your race to focus on being with someone of the same said race. And I feel like
Right.
that's bullshit. You missing
Yeah.
out on your own blessings
Yeah.
because you never know who God is putting in your life.
For a reason, man.
And that's a whole nother conversation. But for this, I want to give you the last word, KG, because I feel like you've eloquently and expeditiously expressed your perspective, and I think that there's nothing that these individuals who feel a certain type of way about you can take away that wasn't the truth, and if they don't want to accept it, that's on them.
Listen,
You've done your part. Share
I've
with
said it
the world.
once. I'll
Last
say it
word.
again. Ain't nobody coming for me. They ain't popping up in my
Damn.
inboxes.
My nigga
When I
want
was
that
in college,
smoke.
like
They want
when
that.
I was in college, it would, they'd ask, and I'd shut it down. Like, listen, a good white one just happened to get to me before a good black one did. Point blank, period. Right?
Ooh wee.
It's a race and a white girl won. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, man. It's an unfortunate
So
truth, man. Keep going.
yeah. So I mean, it's If you're mad at Donald Glover because he's with who he's with, as long as she treats him right, like, who cares? Who cares? Half of y'all got faulty relationships anyway, and you
Yep.
mad at this man because he's doing what makes him happy. You need to focus on yourself
Ooh.
and make you happy, and understand that what you eat or what the next person eat isn't gonna make you or them shit. What you eat isn't gonna make them shit. What they eat isn't gonna make you shit. Everybody just do what makes them feel good as long as you ain't hurting the next man. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
with that being said, bro, I think we pretty
And
much. Oh, go,
and
go,
we getting close.
go ahead. Let them know what it is.
Yeah.
Damn, you
My
about to make me
folks,
zoom in
hey,
on you.
you ain't got to do that. My folks ain't got a problem with it. So what makes you think I'm gonna give a damn what y'all got to say about it?
Yikes!
I don't Glover's folks, I'm sure, like her. So what makes you think he don't give a damn about what you got to say about it? And at the end of the day, the brother's still clocking more money than you got. He's still going places you ain't never been before, and you can't get there because you're too busy operating with that self-defeating mentality, worried about what the next person is doing instead of worrying about what you should be doing to better your situation. It's gonna keep you in a rut, man.
Dog, I just dropped like a hundred horns and 2,000 bombs. Bro, you let them know what it is. You let it out, man. This is that
Yeah.
forum. I appreciate your transparency.
Hey,
Free love, baby, and stop blaming yourselves as black people. And this is I'm talking to my brothers and my sisters. Stop going so hard on each other for this shit. Like, if somebody is attracted or in a romantic relationship or has kids with, married to, dating, it's none of your business.
let it
What
go, man.
is your business is if you want to judge that person on the merit of their actions when it comes to supporting the community and the culture. Point
Right,
blank, period. Just
right.
because if this man doesn't have a black child doesn't mean that he's not performing actions and deeds in this world that contribute to the growth and strengthening of his culture. It's
Hmm.
two separate situations. Y'all got to keep them lanes separate. It's like, and at the end of the day, it's too many, and I'm gonna say what it is. It's a lot of females out here that had that bitter tone in their voice because I hear in the background the three kids that they got from the three different baby daddies that they
Ooh,
had.
no, he didn't. Ooh.
I had to say it, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot of babies crying in the background when I see these posts and I see the three strollers that each one got from the different fathers. So,
Oh
with
man.
that being said, you celebrate your blackness your way, which you
Yeah, man.
obviously have done, and you
Like I said,
continue to grow the community your way. And I'm gonna let my man KG grow the community his way because what
yeah,
he
it's a different
does
set of eyes,
when he
man.
closes his door and goes home ain't got shit to do with nobody that ain't got the last name of G. And we
Nope.
gonna leave it at that.
Ain't paying
Bro,
no bills. Hey,
nah. Now once you start donating, you know you gotta date a black woman. Once they start doing the GoFundMe like get KG a black wife, they gonna expect you to drop
hey,
misses, but
unless this one falls apart and goes to shit, like it ain't happening, man. Like we got a good thing going. Like I said, 11 years. Like we got to
oh, you can't shit on that. Man, it's people out here with 11-year-olds still
11
talking
year
about
olds. Like I
right.
said, we're in the era of 2 week relationships, like 2 month relationships, and here I am, me and mine's. 11 years. That's come on, man.
I'm proud of
Like
you.
we good.
If it ain't gonna be said by nobody else, I'm gonna be the one to say that I'm proud.
Hey,
You
we
know
appreciate it. We
the
appreciate it. And like
whole
I said, if it ain't meant to be, God will,
yeah. But
he'll do his
we
thing,
living in the
and then
now.
we'll take it and go from there. Yeah.
We living in the now. Right now, you happy. If you
Yeah.
happy, I'm
Good.
happy. It's like my mama always told me. She said, "If you like it, I love it." That's the old
Yeah.
adage. So we gotta support each other, man. Stop being divisive. We gotta
And get
stop with
over
the
that
bullshit.
informational divide, man. Understand that that's doing more harm to the community versus anything that, versus who is dating. Like that informational divide. If you have information and you know it can help the next person and they're trying to do some of the same things you're trying to do, help them. Because it will allow them to spend less time on whatever struggle that they're on and more time to get them to be who ultimately they're supposed to be or what ultimately the business is supposed to be. This whole hiding the resources and not sharing information because you afraid this person's going to have more success than you, like, man, you a chump. If that's really the way you operating, like, you're a bum.
Bum. And with that being said, outro music has started. Big ups to the homie, the gem dropper, KG Kobe. Thank
Appreciate
you,
you for having me,
bro.
man. Appreciate you for having me. Thank
Let
you.
them know where they can find you. You know what the drill is.
Yeah, man, y'all can find me on Facebook, Kobe Glenn, not going to spell it. You should see it somewhere around here. You can follow me on Snapchat, KaeGee2626, YouTube, Crypto Channel, Crypto Glenn, and at 6Tech Gaming. We do a lot of unboxings, tech reviews, fun stuff of that nature. So, and you can find me on here, Thinking Out Loud Podcast, thinkingoutloudpodcast.com, TOLPcast.com from time to time.
And I appreciate my nigga for stealing my plug. It is Thinking Out Loud, TOL Podcast. I am J Lip, and we'll be back next Tuesday. Hey, I caught your ass. You was about ready, wasn't you? Yeah, okay. Let me hit it one more time. TOL Podcast. We appreciate y'all. Episode 70. Round of applause. I can't do it at the same. Let me get the clap, and then outro again. Thinking Out Loud Podcast, TOLPcast.com. Come there, check out all the episodes. We got KaeGee on multiple joints. So,
Yes.
Also, you can see my wife. You can judge me. You can make sure and verify that my wife is black. So you can
Shout out to
get
Tony
mad
Lip.
at. So you can get mad at KaeGee for having a white wife, fiance, girlfriend, or whatever behooves you.
Your fiance, you can get mad, but I ain't gonna give a damn.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we fucking with. Thinking Out Loud, TOLPcast.com. And next Tuesday we here 6 p.m. And
Wait for it. We
out.
Sweet.
One love, y'all. Remember, free love. It's all good, baby.
That's going to be the Oh, we got some angry faces in the chat.
Yeah, let's go. But we out because we still live. Let's turn this shit off and talk that shit about them motherfuckers. Let's go.